If no one ever told you that you were enough as a child, you're probably still waiting for permission to feel that way as an adult. You accomplish things. You show up for people. You push harder than anyone around you. Yet that quiet voice whispers you're not quite there yet. That missing validation from childhood created a specific type of adult, high-achieving, empathetic, but secretly starved for the one thing you can't seem to give yourself. Most people think this is just insecurity or that you need to believe in yourself more. They're wrong. The lack of validation wired your brain to seek external proof of your worth, and it's costing you your energy, your relationships, and your peace. The good news? Once you see the pattern clearly, you can break it. Stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 6 ways this shows up in your life and the exact practical steps to start validating yourself so you can finally rest in your own worth. This pattern hides in plain sight among the most driven people. I've seen it in countless stories of success that hide private exhaustion. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Seeing yourself in these truths might sting, but recognition is the first step to freedom. Here are the 6 ways people who were never validated grow into this specific type of adult and what you do differently starting today. 1. You chase approval. Like it's oxygen, you say yes when your body screams no. You laugh at jokes that land wrong. You dim your opinions to keep the peace. This is classic people-pleasing. When your emotions and needs were dismissed or minimized as a child, your brain concluded that being likable was the price of love and safety. Psychologists studying emotional invalidation find that kids who hear "you're too sensitive" or "get over it" learn to prioritize others' comfort over their own truth. In plain language, you learn to perform for love instead of receiving it freely. Oprah Winfrey was born into poverty and shuffled between homes. She faced abuse and neglect, feeling unwanted and unseen. Early on, she discovered that performing, connecting, and being useful brought her some attention and praise, especially in church or later in media. She built a career around making millions feel seen and validated because she knew the ache of not being. And she understood something most people still don't. The external validation feels good in the moment, but never heals the original wound. You break this by catching yourself in the moment. Next time you're about to agree to something, pause and ask, "Is this a hell yes for me?" Practice one deliberate no this week to something small. Feel the discomfort and watch how it builds your self-trust. Your relationships will improve when they meet the real you, not the performer. 2. You don't trust your own feelings. You feel hurt or angry, but quickly dismiss it with "I'm being dramatic" or "it shouldn't bother me." You internalize the invalidation. If your inner world wasn't honored growing up, though, you learn to gaslight yourself to stay acceptable. Research shows childhood emotional neglect leads to adults who struggle with emotional awareness and self-trust. Simply put, you became the parent who dismissed you. Hilary Swank grew up in a trailer park where peers' parents wouldn't let their kids play with her because of class. She felt like an outsider, not seen or understood by teachers or community. Despite that, she trusted her dream of acting when few others did. She dropped out of school, moved to LA with her mom, lived in a car, and faced constant rejection. She kept going because she refused to let the outside world define her feelings of worth. She understood something most people still don't. Your feelings are valid even when no one else sees them. You rebuild this by naming your emotions out loud or in a journal without judgment. Every evening write, "Today I felt," and let it stand without explaining why it's wrong. Over time, you stop abandoning yourself. 3. Your wins never feel like enough. You hit the goal, get the promotion, or finish the project, and immediately think about the next one. The dopamine hit fades fast. This is the overachiever trap. Without early validation, achievements became the only currency for worth. The drive is real, but it comes from proving you're not the unworthy child you were made to feel like. Hilary Swank's early life of being dismissed as trailer trash fueled a relentless pursuit of roles where she could be seen, even after Oscars. The early wounds made her push for more authentic work. But she learned the validation has to come from within. You change this by celebrating wins properly. After any achievement, stop for 10 minutes and list exactly why it matters to you, not how it looks to others. Do this before moving to the next goal. train your brain to receive your own success. 4. You can't set real boundaries. You feel guilty saying no. You overextend to avoid conflict or disappointment. Boundaries felt dangerous because disapproval equaled rejection in your childhood home. Without practice in having your no respected, you learned that love required self-sacrifice. You start small. Identify one area where you're overgiving: time, energy, emotional labor. Communicate a clear boundary. I can't take that on this week. Expect the guilt. Sit with it. It passes. Your time becomes yours again. 5. You pretend you don't need anyone. You handle everything alone. You downplay struggles. Asking for help feels like weakness. This hyper-independence is a shield. If you couldn't rely on caregivers for emotional support, you decided to need no one. Patrick Stewart witnessed his father's violent abuse toward his mother as a child. He tried to protect her, but learned early that the world was unsafe and unpredictable. He left home young, pursued acting on his own terms, building a legendary career while keeping vulnerability at bay for years. He has spoken openly about the lasting impact and doing therapy into his 80s. He understood something most people still don't. Independence kept you safe then, but connection is what makes life rich now. You soften this by practicing receiving help. This week, ask one person for something small: advice, a favor, or just to listen. Notice how it feels to let someone in. Start rebuilding secure attachment. 6. You become your own validator. This is where the power flips. Instead of waiting for the world to catch up, you start speaking to yourself with the kindness and validation you deserved. No one is coming to retroactively parent you. You must do it now. Oprah in her later life has talked extensively about healing those wounds through self-awareness, therapy, and consciously choosing to validate her own experiences and the experiences of others. And she turned her pain into a platform that helps millions feel seen. You do this daily. Every morning, look in the mirror or write, "You are enough exactly as you are. Your feelings matter. I see you." Make it specific to your day. You handled that difficult conversation well today. Consistency rewires your nervous system. The big reframe is this: you weren't broken by the lack of validation. You were shaped by it into someone capable of deep empathy and resilience. The problem isn't you. It was never having the mirror that reflected your worth back to you. The 6 patterns: chasing approval, distrusting your feelings, never enough success, weak boundaries, hyper-independence, and finally learning self-validation. These are the map. You chase less, yet you trust yourself more. You celebrate your wins, you protect your energy, you let people in, you parent yourself with compassion. You are enough. You always were. Now go live like it. If this hit home, comment below with one pattern you recognized and one action you're taking this week. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more scripts that don't just inspire, they equip you to change. See you in the next one.